Good evening, everyone. It is Thursday, June 4th. My latest update on what's going on as far as I know. So at the moment, we have gathered our team for reopening with some volunteers, and should be getting approval to open up for phase one, hopefully no later than Monday, which means we'll be allowed to have weddings, funerals, and baptisms for 10 people or fewer. And we'll also be able to open up for private prayer and reconciliations. And so I will make that time available. We haven't decided when that will be. It will probably be a couple times during the week so that people have the opportunity to come. There will need to be a pre-registration system, however, so that people do not get turned away, again, with no more than 10 people at a time. And so we are going to be instituting a sign-up Genius app where we'll be able to sign in online for different time slots for 20 minutes apiece, for example, for the prayer and to sign up for reconciliation. And when we have that in place and the slots are full, then we will not be able to accommodate more people. But as I said, that schedule hasn't been filled yet in terms of the timing of it, because we need to find out when we can have volunteers available to do that. As I said, it'll probably be a couple times a week. And then in phase one, we also then have to have 3 instances of experience with masses and letting people in and trying out the procedures before we can apply to move on to phase 2, which will allow at least the first week Sunday masses with no more than 50 people. And again, not certain, but it might be just 1 or 2 masses that first week that we're allowed to do that. And then also open up daily masses. But again, that requires a sufficient number of volunteers scheduled in advance to make sure they're there for cleanup and setup and greeting. And again, that will also be an online procedure, though we will also be setting up a phone-in system that can then get people registered as well for those who are not online. So we'll be hopefully sending out next week a postcard to everybody telling them how to register and where to go. And then also to be alert for, I'm going to actually send out a letter in the mail to everybody as well that will have the do's and don'ts before you come to Mass, during Mass, after Mass, for safety and health reasons, and some more information about what all that means. And so we're still playing it by ear. It's still kind of new to all of us, so the first few weeks there'll be a few kinks to work out. But I'm hopeful if things go smoothly and we get the permission and we get the experience, that will be able to open for Sunday Mass on Father's Day, June 21st. But again, that might be just 1, possibly 2 masses, probably 3 hours apart, simply to give us time to see how everything works. But again, that's not certain yet. That's still up in the air. And again, that would be limited to 50 people maximum, so that we would probably, obviously have a very small attendance. We can't accommodate most of you at this point. But once that happens, and it seems to work, we'll be able to open up to 15 or 20%, so probably about of capacity, the seating capacity, so probably about 100 to 120 people. That would include the volunteers at that point. So we could probably accommodate 100 people per Mass, and we'll just have to see how that works out. So in the beginning, we're going to obviously limit the registrations to registered parishioners, at least at first. For the Sunday evening Mass at 5:30, we'll obviously have to include St. Paschal's and Our Lady of Victory people as well, since it's a tri-parish Mass. But again, all these details will be worked out in the next few weeks, and as we see what works and doesn't work, we'll make some changes and keep you informed of all of that. So that's important for the upcoming opening up. And again, we've gotten a lot of volunteers, which is nice to know, and then we'll have a way to get them contacted and signed up and trained so that the burden for helping out won't fall too heavily on any one group of people, or people won't have to do it quite so often. So that's our hope and that's our plan, and we'll keep you informed about that. For those of you who are on the email blast, it'll be a little bit easier. We will be also trying to update our database for those who are online and we don't have an email address for yet, those who may not be online but have access to it to get that information, and certainly updated phone numbers as well. So more details as to specifics will be forthcoming as we get rolling, and hopefully we'll be able to get up by early July, running back to more or less normal in terms of the Mass schedule. But again, that still remains to be seen. Also, we videotaped our first Sunday Mass this morning. I'm supposed to have a copy of it tomorrow to see how it's been all put together to give us a full video Mass that will be streamed to you on Sunday or available on Sunday to watch. I think this week for sure, though, I'll probably also do my Sunday morning, just the homily, the short homily was just for those of you who want that message. So we're working on all of that. We hope to get enough to be able to volunteers to be able to video stream the Mass every week, even when we get back up to a more or less normal schedule. It'd be nice to be able to do that and have it on the website for the shut-ins. And down the road, we'll probably want to do a Mass for specifically for elderly people or people that are not available online, so that would be restricted to those people in a higher risk group, and we could just segregate them in one Mass. But that's kind of us all still up in the air to be determined. So those are going on. Things that you also should be aware of course, is that due to all the recent violence and the protesting, and we do have to make a distinction between those people, peaceful protesters, and those who were looters that were out simply for personal gain, and those people who came in and actually attacked the police and were swearing and cussing and attacking them. Those aren't peaceful protesters. So we have to figure a way in our own minds and hearts to separate those groups in our mind to see what the protesters might have had in mind and what we can do about the racism and other issues in our country, and then also what we do about law and order and supporting our police and so on, without further exacerbating the problems that we have in the community. So again, I have no answers for all that, but we want to look at all those as a spiritual point of view. As Christians, how do we move forward in all of this? And actually that is in some of my homily for this Sunday when we preach on the Trinity. So tune into that, and certainly keep your eyes and ears open to the news and to what's going on. There's a great need in our community, continues to be a great need in our community, with elderly, with shut-ins, with delivering groceries for people who are hurting because they've lost their jobs, so they're trying to work at home, but then work from home and still homeschool their kids for another week or two. And those people who are considered essential workers that are working outside the home, but are either putting themselves at risk or also having to incur the cost of daycare for the children being at home. So there's a lot of need out there in our community and in the city at large, and we all want to pray about that and figure out how we can be of service and help them in that process. So lots to think about. Please tune into the homily on Sunday, and I'm still thinking about doing turn into the Mass on Sunday, video stream the entire Mass for the first time, and then also I will probably be doing a shorter homily just for those who want to just hear the spiritual message as well. And I will keep you informed as we go forward. So have a blessed week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and certainly remember to take care of one another. And we hope that we're turning the corner as we go into phase 1 and 2 of reopening the church, and as our state and our city go into what they're calling phase 3 of reopening, hopefully with the proper safety precautions if we all take care to ensure the safety of ourselves and others. That will certainly help facilitate the reopening of our society. So God bless you all, and we'll talk soon.